So when you're doing a road trip in a Tesla, you don't have to think as much as you do in another sort of electric car, because the brilliant ZapMap just routes you via superchargers. But what happens if you're doing a road trip in a non-Tesla? What do you do then? This video hopefully will help you work it out.
Charge it up at home before you leave.
So this might be the most obvious thing, but just make sure you fully charge your car before you leave on your road trip. This is going to be the cheapest fuel of your whole trip, unless you can find some free chargers. And if you use something like Octopus Energy's Go or Agile tariff, you could be charging up for as cheap as 5p or even cheaper on Agile, if you get lucky, before you go. And a 5p a unit, my i3 will do about 170 miles. That's £2.20. You're just not going to get cheaper than that, are you? Compared to petrol and diesel, whoa, it's a massive difference. So, on to the next bit.
What about hotel charging?
Here's the first thing you need to decide on, and that's where you're going to stay. And does it have a free charger? Because there's a lot of benefits to staying somewhere with either a Tesla destination charger, which come in pairs. So one is just for Teslas, the other one is for any EV with a Type 2, or if you've got an adapter. So that's probably your best bet, is to try to find a hotel with one of these chargers. If you're staying somewhere that doesn't have an EV charger, make an effort just to have a chat with management and say, you should really consider having an EV charger, because it gets them on a lot of these maps, like ZapMap, and it's going to bring customers to their hotel. It's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be really wanting in the future. And then the other sort of point about sort of destination charges is also consider where you're going to be during the day. If you're going to a beach or even basing yourself at a hotel for the day, then you can use their chargers. The chargers are generally free to use as long as you are a customer of the venue. So just double check with them, but normally they're pretty cool. So if you're going for a spa day, for example, you might find that the spa has a charger. So just charge there and you haven't got to worry about anything. And come the end of the day, after 8 hours or whatever, you can just drive home with a full battery. That's really cool. But the other thing to consider is if your plans are going to change a bit, or you're going to be going to lots of different sites, then you probably don't want to rely on just one charger. And this is when rapid chargers really come into their sort of, well, they're rapid, aren't they? So they're quick.
Let's find some rapid chargers.
So rapid chargers are probably the thing you're going to really benefit from on road trips when you're not quite sure where you're staying, there's no charger there, or you're not quite sure what you're doing during the day. A rapid will probably charge your car in an hour or less, depending on the in-car chargers. Lots of variables here, which does make it a little bit complicated. But the market is growing all the time. There's lots of new options. So I'm going to now show you an app I use. It comes on the desktop, which I'm going to sort of show you on my laptop, but it also comes on a mobile app. It's called ZapMap. So I'm a big fan of ZapMap. It comes on the iPhone or Android, and also they do a browser version for a computer, which is a bit easier to show you on this video. So the first thing you need to do is come over here and click filters if you're looking just for the rapids. So for the i3, I can use CCS. I can't use the Tesla ones. Obviously, if you had a car with a CHAdeMO, you click that. Although my i3 won't charge at this sort of speed, it's good. But if you look at the map there, there's literally thousands of chargers. Click apply, and it makes it a bit simpler. Okay. So, and I'll choose this charger here, for example. If you then click on it, you've got an information tab and a chat tab. This is quite useful because you can actually see when people have used it. So this one had a connector issue. But this one was fine, and the most recent one was fine. So that's that charger there. So I would then look at my options, and there's a lot of chargers on the way in to where I'm going in Norfolk. And I try to choose one of my favourites. So whilst there's lots of companies on the market, sometimes it's easier to stick with the ones you know. So Instavolt are the closest to a Tesla supercharger that I'm aware of without spending really silly money on something like Ionity. So for the upcoming trip, there's an 8-bay Instavolt just on the way into Norfolk. And there's a co-op and a coffee shop right next door. So it's perfect for going there and sort of getting a few bits and pieces ready for the day, hopefully on the beach, if the UK weather's good for us. The other two networks I'm a big fan of is one is Ingenie, which have teamed up with, I think it's Marston's Brewery, to allow you to do a pub lunch on your road trip and charge whilst you are eating. On a longer journey, this would probably be my first choice, as it's straightforward and know what I'm doing, and you've got the charger right at the pub. The Polar network is also very good, with a lot of chargers in places like Holiday Inns.
So what about our Bucks to Norfolk trip?
So, for our upcoming trip to Norfolk from around Milton Keynes, this is what I did. We'll be going to North Coast, so let me show you on the map again. So between Hunstanton and Cromer. And with having young children, a stop on the way into Norfolk would be, we'd probably take one anyway, so you might as well charge the car whilst you're there. So again, using the ZapMap app and making sure the filters are only selected to rapids, we're staying in Kings Lynn, where there are a couple of rapids. They're not really anywhere near our hotel. So you then look on the way into Norfolk, and we'd probably be coming up from Cambridge, past Thetford, and as I've mentioned, this Instavolt is an 8 bay. So with a co-op and coffee shop next door, there's about 100 miles from home, so it's a 2-hour journey to get there. So that's kind of ideal for us because we can then have a quick stop and the car can charge up.
Good idea. More road trip snacks.
So if we fully charge that Instavolt, we then got 170 miles of range in the i3. That gives us plenty of range to explore North Norfolk, go to the hotel, back to the beaches, and then back to the charger on the way home. So whilst it's a little bit more complicated to plan than using a petrol car, the EV benefits are so numerous that I think it's completely worthwhile. Hope that's helped. Check the description where I'll put links to the Octopus Energy for home charging, ZapMap for doing some research, Tesla's destination charger list, and anything else I can think of that's going to help you. But fundamentally, don't be put off by doing a long road trip in a non-Tesla EV. You can still do it really easy. It just takes sort of 5 minutes of planning. And hope you've enjoyed this video.
Please like and subscribe.
Who can say no to a 6-year-old? Thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.